Don't buy the dip. Hey there, traders. It's once again time for another video, and I was just going through, it's the end of the year. I was kind of going through lessons learned from last year, and one of the things I really learned to do is not to buy the dip, because one of the big reasons is you don't know when the dip's going to happen. And same way with catching the tops, you're not going to ever know when that's going to happen. There'll be some signs, and I'm going to go through that with this video with some simple indicators on when the thing starts to reverse. But you don't want to just blindly buy the dip and hope for things to bottom out. You want to make sure that you've got a good bottoming out or topping off, and making sure that you know things are going in the right direction. So let's go take a look at what these indicators are and how it works. Some of the indicators that I use when I'm selling options is the RSI. The RSI stands for the relative strength indicator, and you can see like right here at this top is where it's approaching 70. So 70 at the top and 30 at the bottom, and 70 being at a point where things are typically overbought. And when things are overbought, that might indicate that the market is going to go back down, or the stock is going to go back down. Likewise, when it hits 30 or below, you can see here it dipped down below 30, and then it came back up. I also use the Bollinger Bands. If I zoom in here a little bit, it's kind of an upper and a lower band, where if it gets, it's statistically more probable if it gets like to the top of the Bollinger Band, it's going to go back down. You can see then when it hits the bottom of the band here, it's more likely to go back up. It doesn't always. It went back down here again, but it went back up after that point, kind of a double bottom here and a double top here, and then it went back down. Things kept going down and down, even though it was at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. So you don't necessarily know when the bottom's going to hit. You can see it went way outside the Bollinger Band here, and the RSI is saying it's way oversold, and it's more likely to go back up. Then you can see some big volume here, and this big green candle shot things back up. So it kind of does like a whipsaw sometimes. With that being said, you never really know when the bottom is going to come or when the top is going to come. And you want to sell, you want to try to sell, if you're selling puts, you want to do those on red days, because it's more likely to go up. And if you're selling a put, like say here, if the price was at like 354 and you did a put for 330, it's more likely to go back up, and you're just going to make your premium, and you're not going to have to buy the shares. But if you did like a cash secured put up here, that's more of a time you want to do a call. But if you did a cash secured put, you know, that's probably going to have gone down past your strike price, and you'd be forced to buy the shares. And that might be okay with you if you're okay buying the shares. But typically, if you just want to make premium, you want to sell puts at the bottom of the Bollinger Band and sell calls at the top of the Bollinger Band, because it's more likely to reverse direction. But this being said, you never know when it's actually going to turn around. But there are some extra indicators here that will give you a big clue. What I use is the 10 and the 20 and the 50 exponential moving average. And what the moving average is, it just means whatever time frame you're on, it's the last 10 periods or like 10 candles. So I'm in the 1 day I'm in the 1 day candle here. Let's if I go to 1 month and I go to 1 day, that means it's going to go back and pick the last 10 candles and draw this line based on for the 10 EMA, and then the 20 EMA is the gray, and then there's the red, which is the 50 moving average that I use. Now the difference between the moving average and the exponential moving average is just that the exponential weighs things more towards the newer candles. So you'll see more pronounced movements using the exponential moving average than you will straight up just going back, straight 10 last candles with the moving average. It doesn't really matter what you pick. You just pick one and go with it. I'm using the EMA here, the 10, 20, and the 50. Now, if we go back 5 years, I'm picking Microsoft here as an example. All the way from like March of 2020, we've seen an uptrend all the way up to through, all the way up through and including November of 2021. And you might be thinking at that time, you never know what's going to happen, but you're thinking, well, things are in an uptrend, I might buy right here. But you would have been mistaken. And if you bought right here, the market turned around and it went down from like December of 2021 all the way, and it didn't recover until June of 2023 right here, until it got to the same levels. You would have had your account, if you bought shares here, go all the way down. You would have had to wait it out or sell your shares at a loss down here and hope to recover. And what you want to do is pick stocks when they're at the bottom and then they reverse and go back up, and then get out at the top. and hold your money on the side until it gets back down to a bottom, and then ride things back up. And it's okay to miss some of the top and some of the bottom as you're looking for that reversal, because you never know when it's actually going to come. What you want is the 80% in the middle, and the 20% on the ends is what everyone else is going to get stuck with. This is the top of the market here. It starts to get some chop, and then we see the blue EMA go below the 20 EMA, and that's kind of the start of the trend. Now for a bullish trend, you want to see the 10 EMA over the 20 EMA. That's the simplest way to do it. There's also some people like to use the price over the 50 EMA, so 10 over the 20 with the price over the 50, and I'll show you what that looks like. And that's just the opposite for a bearish trend: 10 EMA under the 20 EMA, 10 EMA under the 20, price under the 50. Sometimes that's a little bit more accurate. That could be a little more reassuring, but you also might miss out on a little bit of the price movement. So it's up to you which one to use. We can see the blue 10 going under the 20 EMA, and the price is actually at this point below the 200 red. So that's the start of the downtrend, where you could sell your shares if you're just trading shares, or sell some calls at that point, and you could ride this all the way down or just hold cash. The EMAs did reverse here. The blue 10 went over the gray 20. Right here, the price is not yet above the 200, so you would just hold that. And once it did cross over, you might construe this as a bullish trend, but that quickly would reverse. And so if you did make a trade here, you could get out quicker. But you can see here that you would have followed this trend all the way down. Let me zoom out a little bit until it got to the bottom here and things started to reverse. There's a little bit of consolidation here, but we can see here that right here is where the blue 10 EMA crosses over the 20. So you might get in there, or you might wait for confirmation where the price is above the 200, and things started to go up from there. And when the EMAs start to really widen out, that means you're much more on a solid footing for that trend. So you could have ridden this all the way up to here, and then when things started to cross over, you might miss out on a little bit of trade going all the way up here, going back. It starts to go back down a little bit, so you might have missed out on that. But you gotten your money out of the market at a time when the market's going down, and just waiting for that next bullish trend. So take some time to play with this. Go to your indicators, put on the 10 EMA or the 10 moving average, the 20 moving average or EMA, and the 50. And yeah, that's one of the lessons I learned this year, is that I tried to average down, and for some of my stocks I've seen a downtrend. I tried to buy the dip and average down, reduce my average cost, but things have gone farther down. I never knew when the bottom was. And with this tip, this is probably the biggest tip I learned all year, is that when the 10 crosses over the 20 and the price is above the 200, you're in an uptrend, and same way on the way down. So that's just a way that you can get in and out of the market instead of dollar cost averaging and having to hold your money like we've seen here in 2021, 2022. You would have had to hold your money in here for like over a year. This is from December 2021 to July 2023. So that's a year and a half. If you bought here, it would have taken you a year and a half to get your money to break even. And what I really like about it is that it's fractal. That means if you zoom in, the same trends are going to apply. So if I went to a 1 week chart on a 5-minute interval, the same thing would apply. 10 crossing over the 20, price above the 50, you could get in here for a quick day trade and then get out. So it works on any sort of time frame. And you can see here, all in one day, you would have got out here, you would have missed all this, got back in here, and you could have ridden this up for a small profit that day. So yeah, this is one of the best tips I learned this year, not to time the bottom or the top. You might miss out on some of that, but it's better to get the meat in the middle, and don't worry about the bread on the ends. Hope that helps, and we'll see you on the next one.